Good evening, Internet. My name is Kip. This is Car Chat with Kip on America Bumper to Bumper. This is your first time here watching either live or in replay. We go over some car news, recalls, anything car related that I find interesting and want to talk about, and that's pretty much our show. I also do some channel updates on how things are going with our channel, Facebook, Instagram, that sort of stuff. And let's start out with how things are going on the Facebook. YouTube. All right. So cool thing with YouTube this week, we picked up another subscriber, so up to 406, which is awesome. Thank you for everybody who has subscribed over the past 17 days from the beginning of the year. So really happy and excited about that. And as you see here, last video was our Buy It or Boot It. If you guys don't know what Buy It or Boot It is, that's where we go on Facebook Marketplace. We'll pick a few different cities, and then we'll go through and look at the cars that are for sale, a certain price range, and then decide, well, you guys, whoever's in the chat, decides whether it's a good deal or whether it's a bad deal. Buy it or boot it. So yeah, that's pretty cool, and glad that for everybody who is supporting the channel. Facebook, not a ton to change. Let's look at our followers. We got 882 following the page. For those that don't know, we also have the America Bumper to Bumper group. Everybody, please feel free to go over there, throw out pictures, memes, whatever you want to do over there, as long as it's not inappropriate. But this AMH Canada put up some pretty cool stuff. Jason Carr, old car auto guy, posts up some stuff in there. So feel free to go over there. We are doing a photo contest. Actually, that ended yesterday. Now we have to do the voting. Let me go down here. I gotta find where. Come for the culture, scenery. That's funny. That's a good one, Trucker Dave. Thanks for putting that one up there. Where is here? All right. Looks like we only had 2 car pictures for the contest. This is one, Donnie George's 93 Chevy pickup truck with a nice trailer on it. And we also had Ethan Rajada. I'm sorry if I mispronounced your last name. Posted this one up. So now we're in voting mode. Everybody can go in there and vote on the 2 pictures there to see which is going to be the cover shot for the group for the month of February. So I'll go over there and check that out. Let's get into stories. First one, something I picked up on Jalopnik. Everyone, while this is loading up, everyone throw a guess in for how many years has Bentley used the 6.75 liter engine, the V8, that they've had in their cars. It's also been in older Rolls Royces, but so throw that in there. Give everybody a minute to figure that out. And So the 6.75 liter Bentley L Series engine has been in production in one form or another since 1959. So 60 years. This year is the end of the 6.75. It is being phased out mostly because of lack of well, just better power options out there, and the fact that they are kind of emissions heavy engines. So to send the engine out, and by that means the one vehicle that had that engine out with a bang, they are going to be producing 30 Mulsannes, which is named after the Mulsanne Strait of the Le Mans track. They are making 30 with will be the last 30 made of the 6.75s, and it's going to be a numbered edition. It's going to be also the last of the Mulsannes, the silver, or the Flying Spur. Will take Bentley's top spot as their Halo car, Halo luxury car, I should say. Lots of plaques on this car, lots of other goodies, and this will be the end of the 6.75 liter engine made famous for all those 60 years. There's some pictures of the Mulsanne. Lots of plaques, that's for sure. And we say a fond goodbye to the Bentley 6.75.
No!
Yes, it's gone. Huh?
How do you know what that is?
6.75 liter V8 engine that Bentley and Rolls-Royce, up until BMW bought it, had been using in their. All right. Oh, boy. All right. Looks like okay. We are still on. Well, we've had some problems in the past of stuff not working. Anyways, all right. Next story is NASCAR. I'm not really into NASCAR as much as I was 20 plus years ago. But right now they are developing the 7th generation car. And as this report shows, that they are testing sequential shifters in the cars to replace the 4-speed manuals that they have right now. 4-speed manual is pretty much an unheard of entity in modern cars. I can't remember the last time a 4-speed manual car was built. That was probably somewhere in the 80s. I think the last modern car with any sort of 4-speed, which would be the 4-speed automatic, would have been the Dodge Journey. And that went out of production late last year or something like that. So it looks like the next generation, which will be a 2021 car, will finally be going ahead of the times and be getting a sequential shifter. This has been out testing at Homestead, Miami-Dade Homestead Raceway. Was it Eric Jones, Cup driver, was out testing it? Oh, Homestead, Miami. Sorry, Homestead, Miami Speedway. So, and he says that so far so good. He thought it was a nice upgrade for the car. So, if you're into NASCAR next year, you might see or hear the sequential shifter. Our next story is coming from motor1.com. If it comes up. And of course, we're locked up again.
You did get the bonus pack, but none of the you didn't actually have to pay for it. Oh. If it's free.
Quiet.
You only get one.
Well, we might have to consider some money for a new computer.
Okay.
All right. Looks like, sorry about the quiet spell. The computer is having issues, and I think we're going to have to go get something different, as you may have heard. It's not frozen up again. Oh, great.
Will my laptop work?
Probably, but I'll have to use that next time. Technical difficulties. All right, Motor One. I'm not going to go through everything, but they have their. If you're ever on their website, they have a spy shots of the week. Bunch of vehicles in there that I'm particularly not interested in, but the one that I am interested in, and I've seen some other pictures as well, is the Ford Bronco is out testing. This looks like the four-door model, and just from the looks of it, that definitely has some looks of a fighter. So I'm very much looking forward to seeing this thing when it comes out in fully unveiled. I think late this year for a next year debut or something like that, I think. But anyways, getting closer and closer to seeing the new Ford Bronco.
You have to call the dude that keeps giving you ads.
And we're still slowing down a bit. All right, as you guys know, right now, Scottsdale, Arizona, the Barrett-Jackson auction is going on. Lots of great cars going over the auction block, and saw this story because pretty much everybody talks about such and such a car that went over the block, and so much money that went for it. But I saw this one and I was kind of intrigued. Title is Urban Legend Little Red Shelby GT500 EXP Rises from the Dead. What makes this story kind of interesting is the fact that it was believed that this car was crushed. Now, it was believed that this car was crushed along with the Green Hornet that was found and restored last year and shown last year. And this one actually, same gentleman owns it. It's the owner, CEO of Barrett-Jackson. He also owns the Green Hornet. Tracked this car down in a field in Texas. Found that it was actually the Little Red. Even a gentleman who worked for Shelby was not convinced that this was the car until he went and actually saw it in person in Scottsdale, and everything came rushing back to him going, yep, this is the car. So there's the Green Hornet, and Little Red is underneath this. Thing that makes these two prototypes interesting is the fact that they're slant back coupes, not the fastbacks. not very many that I'm aware of. Shelby's were done in the slant back and not the fastback style. So let's scroll down, take a look at the little red once it unveil. There we go. There's a little bit of the front end, and a lot of people are saying that this car is just as important, if not more important, than the Bullet Mustang that was just sold for $3.7 million. This car is not for sale. Craig Jackson is a huge car collector and very passionate about Shelby's. He owns both the Little Red and the Green Hornet. Let's see if there's another picture of the front and the rear quarters. Let's see if we got more pictures here. That is Craig Jackson and Walter Nelson, who originally worked on the car. And this is the guy who, wasn't convinced until he sat in the car that it was really it. So very cool provenance, very cool car. And the story also says that there's going to be documentaries coming out over the next year or so on the find, restore, and showing of both the Green Hornet and the Little Red. Bet you didn't know that there was a four-door Chevy Corvette in 1980. Now, a lot of people don't believe it. I am still kind of scratching my head on it, as you just saw. I was under the impression that this car was done by an aftermarket company. But from what I understand is that these were actually an option in 1980. You could order from GM. There were only 6 built. 1 was a prototype, 5 cars that actually went on the road. Of those 6 cars, 2 are known to exist. The other 3 were, or other 4 were crashed, crushed, whatever. So right now, if you so wish, you can own a 4-door 1980 Corvette. It was made by an outside company. GM didn't actually make them, but they made these cars for General Motors. This particular car, 20,000 miles on the clock, dual T-tops, so front passengers and rear passengers both have T-tops that can be removed. Automatic transmissions, and a 350 V8 under the hood. The other side of the car, and basically, from what I understand, is they took, yes, this is built by California Custom Coach Works, and they basically took 2 Corvettes, cut them down the middle, smushed them together. But again, from what I have read and looked at, through some other stories about this car, is that was an actual factory option. If you guys can show me otherwise, please feel free to put down in the comments some links so I can educate myself more. Who's making all that noise?
Sorry.
All right. Now we got a couple of stories coming out from Toyota. I believe it was, I don't know, maybe a month ago. I had a story about Toyota is going to be putting out something like 21 cars over the next 3 years. And apparently the rumor mill now is saying that the Toyota Venza is going to be brought back as one of those vehicles. Lots of stuff going through here, so bear with. From For those of you that don't know, Venza was built from 2008 back to 2015. It was built on the same platform as the Camry and the Highlander. Big differences. It was basically a tall station wagon, only 5 seats. That was pretty much its downfall, is that it was not as utilitarian and easy for families as something like the Highlander. This is said to be coming back in 2021. It will be a hybrid model only. The other thing that this is of course the old car, so we don't have any pictures of what the new car looks like yet, or might be. The other news is the Toyota Tundra may be pushed back a year. They're saying that it won't go on sale until December of 2021 as a 2022 model. They're also saying that the Sienna, the next Sienna minivan, will be a hybrid only option, just like the Venza when it comes back. Things with the Tundra, rumors that are going around with the Tundra is that twin turbo hybrid is going to be an option. It's going to ride on an all new platform. So that'll be quite interesting when it comes out. To go along with this, we also have, excuse me, story about the Toyota 86.
Also, pink isn't really all that pink. It's more like a
If it comes up.
and purple's really dark. Sorry.
All right, here it is. Toyota 86 is going to get a new name. It's been being redesigned. Anyway, but it's the thing the thing I find most amazing about this story actually is that Toyota is, and Subaru for that matter, they're coming out with a next generation of this car. Good for sports car enthusiasts. Interesting for the company itself, because they are very low production vehicles. Can't remember. I think last week I said something about they sold, I think, under 10,000 of these things. Toyota, maybe it's 14. I can't remember, but if I can remember, I'll try to find that and put that somewhere in a comment. But yes, it's getting a second generation. It will get a more horsepower, which is a complaint of the current model. It's going to get the same Subaru 2.4 turbocharged that's in the Subaru Ascent, Outback, and Legacies. It's going to be putting out 260 horsepower, and that is significantly more than the 2.0 that's in the current cars. Other really big thing with this car is the name change. It's now going to be known as the GR86, and that's to kind of put it in line under the performance brand of Gazoo Racing. So it's the GR Supra, the GR Yaris, which I don't believe we're getting, and then there will be the GR86. So these cars live on, more horsepower, and similar price tag to today's car, and the upper 20s. But if it were me, I would buy a new Camaro, because it's a little bit bigger, and I'm a Camaro guy. Speaking of Camaro, you like that segue? Apparently, GM put in the configurator for Canada a couple of new options for the 2020 Corvette, or Camaro, sorry. And that being Shock and Steel Edition. So that is the Shock color, which is highlighter yellow. And the shock and steel package adds a few neat touches to a number of trims, but there's no official price as of the writing. And again, this is on the Canadian configurator, not on the US, unless they have taken it down. The shock and steel edition is currently limited to the 2LT, 3LT, and 2SS trim levels, both convertible and coupe. 2 colors, shock and satin steel. Based on the exterior paint you choose, you'll get a center stripe that comes in the opposite color package. So choose shock and get the satin steel stripe, get satin steel and get the shock stripe. 20-inch blade design aluminum wheels, carbon flash painted mirrors, body spoiler, yellow painted calipers, black fuel filler door with carbon fiber insert, premium floor mats, carbon fiber instrument cluster molding, and jet black leather interior. Nice. Choose this package with an LT model. Also adds the RS package and Brembo front brakes. Cool. So I think that's a pretty cool color. I don't know. Let's see if they. Oh, that's a pretty nice color too. I like the satin steel color as well. Pretty neat. I've talked about this next story quite a lot over the past few months. Hummer's coming back. This Hummer's coming back.
Nice.
As an electric vehicle. And it's going to be sold at GMC dealerships as a GMC. GMC Hummer. Yeah. Yeah. Yep. So this will be 10 years since Hummer went away back in 2010, and it's coming back. It'll be officially debuted. I don't believe this is a car that's. Excuse me. The picture here I think is a rendering. Excuse me again. But at this year's Super Bowl, basketball superstar LeBron James will be in an ad shilling the new Hummer. So look forward to that and what will be the Hummer all-electric truck design. So I'm the only thing I like about the possibility of a Hummer electric is that it'll actually look like some sort of pickup or SUV rather than that monstrosity that is the Cybertruck. So, and our final story for this evening, it's going to be a short one, folks. I'm sure you guys have all seen it online because this is actually an older story, but I had to bring it up because I think it's hilarious. 2 General Motors employees were arrested for racing the C8 Corvette on the streets of Bowling Green, Kentucky. The story from, according to the Kentucky State Police, is that a trooper stopped Alexander Thim and Mark Durkatz on the evening of Wednesday, January 8th on Lover's Lane in Bowling Green for exceeding the posted 45-mile-an-hour speed limit by more than 26 miles per hour. They got that was part of their ticket, along with reckless driving and racing motor vehicles on a public road. Automobile, the story is from Automobile, as you can see, has not yet been able to verify just how much over the 71 miles per hour the cars were traveling, but that was the minimum that they were going. That's according to how the Kentucky law, states. It's 26 miles or over gets that thing. So they could have been going 100 miles an hour. They could have been going 72 miles an hour. That is not at all disclosed at this point. And you can see here a picture of one of the Corvettes being taken away on the back of a flatbed. and the vehicles were picked up the next day by a GM employee that were released back to the company. It is not known at this time whether both of those employees, Tim was a computer-aided engineer working on induction and exhaust systems. So, they had to check it out. They had to see out anyway. And Merkatz was an electrical engineer. No one was injured, but they are both in hot water. And it'll be interesting again to see if they actually have a job. And that, my friends, that is our show. That is everything I've got, unless the one person watching wants to hop on the in the comments, and we'll talk whatever news you want to talk about. Otherwise, we're going to end it. We'll give you a second to be able to respond, and then
this is the worst one to get. That and the dock site, dock deeds. Yeah,
all right.
you always use every single.
As we end all of our streams, dreams without ambition is like a car without gas. You're not going to get very far. God bless. Take care. Have a great weekend.